There is a truth that no one tells you outright, but you need to know. Narcissists don't respect you. They only crave what you have. They don't see the real you, they see your utility. They don't honor your heart. They merely appraise it based on its rarity, beauty, or power. And if you don't realize this early on, you'll step into a game where you're the pawn, manipulated, diminished, and replaced at any moment. But this isn't a video for complaining. This is a video to help you take back control. In today's video, you'll discover 10 psychological strategies to make a narcissist wary of you, to force them to respect you temporarily, not because they want to, but because they have no other choice. These aren't cheap tricks. These are survival skills for when you're forced to work, live, or coexist with someone who only respects the surface and never sees anyone's soul. If you've ever felt belittled, manipulated, or robbed of your own light, watch this video until the end. Because what you're about to hear isn't just advice. It's a mental weapon to help you stand firm in any toxic relationship. And if this resonates with the truth in your heart, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Because you deserve to be seen, you deserve to be respected, and you deserve to live without compromising for falsehoods. 1. Self-respect is the foundation that makes them wary. Self-respect is an unyielding fortress, an inner light that makes narcissists hesitate. They never truly see your heart, nor do they care about the deep emotions or human value you carry. To them, you're merely a tool, valued through their selfish lens. How useful are you? What benefits do you bring? The harsh truth is, if you don't cherish yourself, they'll quickly sniff out your unhealed wounds, your gaps in confidence. To them, these are invitations to impose their power, manipulate, and belittle you without hesitation. But when you stand tall with clear self-respect, not arrogant but calm, not boastful but profound, you create an invisible barrier that unsettles them. Narcissists are used to controlling, accustomed to prey that easily submits, but a confident soul, someone who knows their worth, is something they cannot easily subdue. Your self-respect doesn't need to be loud. It shines through in how you face them. An unflinching gaze, a steady voice, an attitude that refuses to let them cross your boundaries. That alone sends a powerful message. I am not something for you to use. 2. Show them you can walk away at any time. Deep within a narcissist's mind, their greatest fear isn't being criticized or hated. It's being left behind. Their inflated yet fragile ego cannot bear the thought of being replaced, of the self-constructed spotlight fading when you turn away. Your dependence on them fuels their power, and when you sever that supply, you shake the very world they've carefully built. Let them see, through sharp words and resolute demeanor, that you're not a puppet in their hands. You refuse to be belittled, manipulated, or undervalued. More importantly, show them you have the strength and self-respect to walk away at any moment. Without tears, without melodrama, your independence is a clear message. You don't need them to shine, and your world won't crumble without them. When a narcissist senses this, even as a fleeting thought in their subconscious, they'll be forced to adjust how they treat you. Not because they suddenly value you or know how to love, but because they fear losing control. Losing you isn't just losing a resource, it's losing a vital piece of their ego's puzzle. By showing you ready to walk away, you not only protect yourself, but also affirm a powerful truth. Your worth doesn't depend on their validation. It lies in the freedom and inner strength you carry within. 3. Don't let them drag you down to their level. Narcissists are always trying to pull you into the emotional quagmire they create. They don't just want you to react, they crave it. By sowing chaos, stirring doubt, or pushing you into pointless arguments, they force you to explain, justify, and ultimately drown in confusion and pain. Every time you respond with bewilderment or anger, you unwittingly fall into the trap they've set, lowering yourself to their level, a place where they feel in control. But you have a more powerful weapon, the ability to hold firm boundaries and refuse to engage in their toxic game. Only interact with them when they behave appropriately with the minimum respect you deserve. When they start their manipulative tactics, provoke you, or deliberately try to hurt you, choose to keep your distance. Not with cold indifference, but with purposeful self-control. Your silence is not surrender. It's a powerful unspoken message. I refuse to play in the toxic emotional space you've created. By doing this, you not only shield your soul from unnecessary wounds, but also send a clear signal that you're no longer easy prey. Establishing mental boundaries is not just an act of self-preservation, it's a declaration of your self-worth. It shows that you recognize your dignity and are unwilling to sacrifice it to appease their ego. Narcissists, though they won't admit it, will sense this shift. They'll realize you're no longer someone who can be easily swept into their vortex of chaos. And it's this steadfastness that makes them wary, not because they respect you, but because they see you slip beyond their control. You're living true to yourself, strong, self-possessed, and impossible to drag down. 4. Become a gray rock in their presence. When the initial sweet flattery gives way to contempt, when the narcissist begins to belittle you to assert their dominance, transform into a gray rock, emotionless, unresponsive, and unyielding to the script they expect you to follow. They thrive on emotional chaos, addicted to the outbursts they provoke, whether it's anger, pain, or your attempts to justify yourself. Each time you react, you inadvertently fuel their manipulative cycle. But when you choose to withdraw, remain calm, and refuse to feed their thirst for drama, you break that toxic loop. This doesn't mean becoming numb or abandoning your worth. On the contrary, it's a powerful act of self-mastery, a way to protect your soul from unnecessary harm. When they try to provoke you, respond with deliberate indifference. No arguments, no tears, no attempts to please. Let your silence become an invisible wall. Strip them of the control they seek. The boredom you create isn't weakness. It's a subtle strategy that leaves them no stage for their toxic theatrics. Remember, your goal isn't to make them love or value you. Narcissists rarely have that capacity. Instead, you're dismantling the manipulation pattern they rely on to maintain power. When you stay consistent with this approach, your calm will force them to change tactics, not because they care, but because they realize their old tricks no longer work. By becoming bored in their eyes, you not only safeguard yourself, but also affirm a profound truth. You are the master of your emotions, and no one has the power to drag you into their mire. 5. When they don't listen, you don't need to say more. When you realize your words are being ignored, when every conversation revolves around the narcissist's ego or veers off your intended point, choose to stop. There's no need to keep explaining, arguing, or striving to be heard. Your silence, wielded gently but firmly, is not just an act of self-protection. It's a powerful declaration of your own worth. Narcissists don't value your words if you keep trying to fill the void with unappreciated efforts. They rely on your willingness to keep talking, to keep trying, as a way to reinforce their control. But when you choose silence, you disrupt the script they expect. This silence isn't surrender. It's a way to affirm that your words have value, and you're not willing to waste them on those who don't appreciate them. It's the moment you reclaim your power, forcing them to confront the void you leave behind. This action requires self-control and courage. It's not about sulking or being passive. It's a conscious choice to protect your dignity. When you stop speaking in conversations that only serve their ego, you send a clear message. I don't need to fight for attention. My worth doesn't depend on whether you listen. Gradually, the absence of your words will make them take notice. Not because they truly care, but because they realize they can't manipulate you by ignoring you. Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their shortcomings, and in that space you affirm that you deserve to be heard, not just by them, but most importantly by yourself. 6. Present yourself as someone with high social value. Narcissists are obsessed with power, status, and glamour. Not because they genuinely admire anyone, but because they crave basking in a light they can't create themselves. They're drawn to people who exude confidence, independence, and social value, not because they value your true self, but because they want to stand beside you to inflate their fragile ego. When you enter their space with the demeanor of someone who knows their worth, with an unflinching gaze and the aura of someone in command, you become a magnetic force they can't ignore. Step into their world with calm confidence, not arrogant but profound, not showy but authentic. You don't need to play a role or try to become their idealized image. Simply be yourself, a person fully aware of their value, who doesn't bow to manipulation or seek their validation. Your presence, built on self-respect and independence, makes them wary. Temporarily, they may show admiration or treat you with superficial respect, but don't mistake this for love or sincerity. They don't love you, they covet the light you carry, and part of them yearns to be you, to claim that radiance. The key is that you don't need to change to fit their expectations. Your social value lies not in what you own or how others see you, but in how you see yourself. When you live true to who you are, when you stand firm without needing their approval, you send a powerful message. You cannot be controlled or dimmed. And it's this resolve that forces the narcissist to see you differently. Not because they want to, but because they have no other choice. 7. Stop walking on eggshells to keep them happy. Have you ever lived in a state of caution, treading lightly as if on eggshells, carefully choosing every word to avoid upsetting the narcissist. You fear that a single misstep could spark their anger, so you shrank yourself, suppressed your emotions, and sacrificed your freedom just to keep them calm. But here's the harsh truth. The more you try to appease them to avoid conflict, the more you hand them the power to belittle you. Your caution doesn't make them value you more. It only reinforces their belief that they can control you through fear. Narcissists don't need your deference. They need your fear. Your fear is the fuel that feeds their inflated ego, making them feel in command. But when you stop worrying about whether you've upset them, when you refuse to live in a state of tension to please them, you begin to reclaim control over your own emotions. You're no longer a puppet jerked by their unpredictable reactions. Instead, you become a free person, living true to your values and feelings. Remember, if they're upset, that's not your responsibility. Their emotions are their burden, not yours to carry. When you stop walking on eggshells, when you allow yourself to speak and act with sincerity and confidence, you send a powerful message. I don't live to please you. My worth doesn't depend on your satisfaction. This resolve forces the narcissist to face the reality that they can't control you with anger or manipulation. You're not just protecting your soul, you're affirming a profound truth. You deserve to live freely, unbound by anyone's fear or expectations. 8. Set boundaries as a declaration of survival. Narcissists view boundaries as a direct challenge to their authority. They despise when you establish clear limits, as it prevents them from accessing parts of your soul they have no right to invade. While they freely impose countless rules and boundaries on you to reinforce their control, they erupt in anger when you dare to do the same. This hypocrisy reveals a crucial truth. Boundaries are not just a tool for protection. They are a vital declaration of survival, asserting that you are not an object or a mental plaything for them to manipulate. Set boundaries with unwavering resolve and without apology. These limits don't need to be harsh or confrontational, but they must be clear, firm, and non-negotiable. When you say no to their manipulative behaviors, when you refuse to let them cross the lines you've drawn, you send a powerful message. I am not someone you can control. My worth does not depend on pleasing you. This requires courage and self-awareness, as narcissists will test you. They'll try to make you feel guilty, tormented, or doubtful of yourself. But when you stand firm, unshaken by their tactics, you force them to face the reality that you are no longer an easy target. Your boundaries not only shield your soul from intrusion, but also affirm your dignity. Once the narcissist realizes you cannot be easily subdued, that their usual tricks no longer work, they will be forced to adjust their behavior, not because they suddenly value you, but because they have no choice when faced with someone resolute and self-possessed. By setting boundaries as a declaration of survival, you not only protect yourself, but also remind yourself that you deserve respect, not from them, but from yourself. 9. Be aloof and detached with them. Narcissists are captivated by the thrill of conquest, by things that are hard to attain, and feed their inflated ego with a sense of victory. They don't value what's easy, readily available, or people who are always there whenever they beckon. If you're available at all times, ready to meet their every need, you inadvertently make yourself a mundane resource in their eyes, easily dismissed and replaced. But when you make them work to be close to you, you completely change the game. Let your presence be a privilege, not a given. Don't always be available. Don't rush to respond to their every call. Instead, be busy with your own life, with passions, goals, and relationships that make you shine. Show them that you're someone others also seek, that your time and energy are precious, and not everyone can access them easily. This doesn't mean playing a fake hard-to-get game. It means living true to your worth, prioritizing yourself, and refusing to let them think they own you. Narcissists won't openly admit their shift, but you'll notice subtle signs. They adjust their approach, become more cautious, even gentler in how they treat you. This isn't because they suddenly see you as a person, but because they recognize you're not an easily replaceable resource. You become a prize they must strive for, forcing them to change tactics. By making them work to be near you, you not only protect your value, but also affirm a powerful truth. You are worthy, and your presence is a gift, not something anyone, including them, can take for granted. 10. Be hard to pin down. To a narcissist, what's easily obtained quickly loses value in their eyes. Their psyche revolves around conquest and control. They're drawn to what's elusive, what challenges their oversized ego. If you're always available, fulfilling their every desire without hesitation, you inadvertently become ordinary in their eyes, easy to have, easy to tire of, and easy to dismiss. But when you uphold your value, when you make them strive to reach you, you not only protect yourself, but also shift how they perceive you. This isn't about playing manipulative games or acting aloof for show. It's about living authentically as yourself. Someone with a rich, fulfilling life, clear standards, and a deep awareness of your worth. Let your life overflow with meaning through passions, goals, and relationships that nurture your soul. Be occupied with becoming the best version of yourself, so they see you're not someone waiting for their attention. Your independence, natural mystique, and self-mastery are the allure that keeps them from owning you as they once might have. When you don't rush to meet their every demand, when you maintain just enough distance to protect your personal space, you send a powerful message. I'm not something you can conquer easily. I know what I deserve. Narcissists, accustomed to having everything revolve around them, will be forced to pay closer attention, to try harder, not because they genuinely value you, but because they realize you cannot be controlled or dismissed. Your elusiveness is not just a tactic, it's a way of life, a proclamation that you are valuable, and only those who respect that deserve to be near you. You cannot force a narcissist to become someone they're unwilling to be. You cannot make them learn to love genuinely, respect sincerely, or truly value you as a person. But you can make them adjust how they treat you by changing how you treat yourself. The 10 strategies you've just heard are not about winning the love of a narcissist. They are a mental defense system designed to ensure you're no longer manipulated, no longer belittled, and no longer defined by someone else's disrespectful gaze. The clearer you are about your own worth, the more cautious a narcissist becomes around you. The calmer you remain, the more they lose the power they've built from your emotional investment in them. The less you react impulsively, the less they can control the rhythm of your heart. And when you step out of their manipulative web, not with resentment, but with a clear awareness of your own value, whether they pretend to respect you or not, you've already won. If this video has resonated with you, hit the subscribe button, because this isn't just an information channel. It's a place where you're reminded of the inner strength you've always possessed. You don't need to be chosen. You only need to choose yourself.